Today I'm going to be talking about the start, the middle, and the finish of my Bite Squad career. So for those of you who don't know, I started working for Bite Squad last January as a bicycle courier. I've been doing that from now until August, which is now. So that's about 8 months total. If you haven't seen any of my videos on the hiring process, the pay, what it's like in a day, that sort of thing, I do have a playlist that's dedicated strictly to Bite Squad courier life. So I can answer most of your questions here. In this video, what I'm going to do is focus on why I quit working for Bite Squad. Now, the reasons I quit, I'm going to divide up into two segments. One is going to be just general bike courier things that I didn't like, and then second will be things that I think Bite Squad could do a better job on. Maybe they'll see this video and take up some of my points. Anyways, so let's get into it. Okay, so the first thing about bike couriering that you've got to realize, and this is really no matter where you are, you're going to be sucking in a lot of car exhaust. You're most likely driving or riding in an urban area where there's a lot of cars driving, and you're going to be zipping in and out of them, so you're going to be on the tailpipe a lot of times. And I knew that signing up for it, and you should know it too. The second thing is the danger factor. Hey, this goes without saying, but that's why a lot of people really like this job, is because of the danger factor. You know, you're zipping in and out of cars, you're watching out for doors, you're doing all this. So that being said, for me, you know, after working a 40 or 50 hour work week to go out and pedal, I just sometimes I just didn't want to, you know, I want to put life in autopilot. I didn't want to have to be super intense thinking about, you know, worrying about getting hit by cars or whatever. And so, you know, that kind of gave me a potential to get hurt. I'm gonna put this camera down because this thing is like heavy. Hold on, let's do this. Now, let's get into some Bite Squad specific issues. First, the bag that they provide you is totally inadequate. It's a large open bag, cooler bag. It's designed for cars, but it has backpack straps so you can fit it on your back. But it's one open thing. So if you have any soups, if you have any drinks, then you've got to prop it up somehow. And that's what I ended up doing, but didn't work. I even had a divider, a single divider. It didn't work. It was totally inadequate. I was told when I was hired I wouldn't be given any drinks. I wouldn't be fountain drinks. I wouldn't be given any soups, but I did. And I understand that they need to give you what they give you, but then they should give you a proper bag. Something like camera bag that you can section everything off, and then you can secure drinks. I can't tell you how many times I handed people a big soggy bag of noodles where like the sweet sour sauce leaked out the side. You know, I don't want to deliver that, and Bite Squad doesn't really want you to deliver that, but it happened to me a lot, and I mentioned it to them multiple times, but nothing ever changed. So that is number one with Bite Squad specific. Number two would be, don't give, well, it's kind of the first one, but don't give bike couriers coffee, don't give them smoothies, don't give them 44 ounce fountain drinks. I was told that we wouldn't get those. I did get them. Even when it's secure in a proper bag, it's not really secure. It's you're either going to have to go very, very slow for delivery, or you're going to risk spilling it, you know. And I never had any total disasters, but those deliveries always took me a long time to do, and I always spilled a little bit. So Bite Squad, if you're listening, don't give bike couriers 44 ounce soft drinks unless you want to mess. Okay, the last couple things I'm going to talk about, I'm talking about dispatch, and I'm going to be talking about the difference between being a W-2 worker and a 1099 worker. So first with dispatch, dispatch is located in Minnesota. They're very far from most people. They don't often have the exact feel for what's happening on the ground. I would encourage dispatch to work closely with their local partners, because I was often sent up big hills, I was sent extremely far distances. It was like they didn't know I was on a bike. And now I know that most of them don't have probably a topo map when they're looking at doing deliveries, but I was treated like a car a lot, and I had to straighten them out a little bit as far as doing deliveries, picking stuff up, because, you know, they were sending me on some really ridiculous runs. So that is something that I think Bite Squad can do a better job at working with. And then the last point is 1099 versus W2. Now listen, I think everyone knows what that is, but just in case you don't, a 1099 is technically an independent contractor like Uber or Lyft, or a lot of the quote gig jobs are like that. Bite Squad is a little unique where you're actually a W2 worker. So what that means is you have less flexibility. You can't just come to work when you want and leave when you want. And this was where part of my problem arose, was that, so I set my availability, and they oftentimes would keep me past my scheduled availability. Now, I had a guaranteed rate. Most markets will have a guaranteed rate for dinner time or lunch or whatever. So I set my availability during those guaranteed rates, because if you're working outside of those guaranteed rates, you're making minimum wage, which in my market is $10.10, which is absolutely not enough money to go out there risking life and limb to deliver food on a bike. So that being said, a lot of times what started happening to me is that I was kept past my available time because they were still busy. So 9 o'clock would come, 9 p.m. I usually work the dinner shift, and the guaranteed rate would be over, and I should be off, and I'd hit click to end my shift, and my shift wouldn't end. They'd assign me another run. They said, we need you to stay on. And I'm like, I don't want to stay on, especially when you're sending me on these long deliveries way over on the other side of town. It's going to take me 3 or 4 miles, probably 30 minutes to get it, and then who knows where it's going to get dropped off. I could be pedaling for an extra hour for, you know, $10, not even 10 before tax. So totally not worth it. And the other thing I'd like to mention on that is that, what was it I was going to mention on that? Oh yeah, so that would be on top, like staying late would be on top of my 4 hours, right? And for anyone who's ever done bike couriering, you know, doing bike couriering straight for 3 or 4 hours is long enough. You know, when you're pedaling hard, you're doing in traffic, that sort of thing. So when they start keeping you at long and you're making less money, it kind of wears you out. That's it. So that's my opinion. So that's something to keep in mind if you deliver for Bite Squad, is they can and will keep you past your available shift, especially if you're only scheduled during the rush hours, you know, the peak guaranteed rate hours. Now, I hope this doesn't come across a hit piece on Bite Squad. I would absolutely recommend giving it a shot if you need extra money, if you need a second job, if you need a first job. It's a great place to work. My local branch was great. They always gave me time off when I needed it, and for the most part they were pretty receptive to anything I needed. They were there for me. So I don't not recommend it, but you know, just like everywhere, there's always room to be improved. And I think that's it. You know, if you have any courier experience you want to share with me, please leave it in the comments below. I'd love to hear your experience. And lastly, I'd just like to give a quick shout out again to my patron Daniel, who has been supporting my channel for over a year. I do appreciate all the coffee you have bought me in that year time. So thanks again, and if you like this video, please leave it a like. And with that, I'm signing off, and that's Spot. Aloha.